Russia's Deputy Permanent Representative to UNESCO, speaking to us from Paris. Thank you very much for joining us on the programme. Now, we've heard that a proposal to celebrate a day of the Russian language has been rejected at UNESCO. Could you please share the details with us?
First of all, thank you and hello everybody. First of all, I would like to say that this move not to adopt a decision on a language is unprecedented for UNESCO. Why? Because it heavily undermines the very basis of this organization. Multilingualism is recognized as a fundamental value of the United Nations and an asset for strengthening cultural diversity, international cooperation and mutual understanding. It was with these words that the Director General Audrey Azoulay welcomed our initiative on the proclamation of World Russian Language Day. So those who blocked the decisions, primarily Western countries, they targeted Russia, but they fired back at UNESCO, unveiling very clearly that they don't care about universal multilateral cooperation. Secondly, you must know that Russian is the largest Slavic language. It is spoken on every continent. Since today is the 12th of April and the anniversary of the famous Gagarin's flight, I would like to underline that Russian is the first language ever spoken in space. So Russian is an official UN language and in many other international and regional borders. It is a state language of Russia, Belarus, has official status in Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. Our initiative to proclaim the day was co-sponsored by 18 countries, and we are very grateful to them. So by blocking this decision, the so-called collective West demonstrated a clear disrespect to all these countries and to Russian-speaking communities all over the world, including in their own countries. Only Germany has 4.5 million Russian-speaking population. So to cut the long story short, we deeply regret this move of Executive Board of UNESCO to adjourn the decision on the Russian language, and we clearly said that in our intervention after the vote. This sentiment is widely shared by many delegations, not only those who took the floor and expressed their dissatisfaction, but also those who abstained, thus demonstrating their dissociation from the continuous shaky pace that takes UNESCO to a dead end. We hope, however, that we would come back to our proposals, and many delegations informed us on their readiness to further support us in future discussions on that matter.
Do you think, Tatiana, the situation in Ukraine the response has been so emotional that it's led to the cancellation of all things Russian? Or do you think this alarming trend was already in the making before the conflict broke out? There were some signs that this was even before the conflict, but after the conflict, this trend to cancel Russia is being more and more alarming, and we witness all over Europe. Now it evolves into canceling the whole nation, its culture, its sports, its citizens in general, cancelling the whole country. Actually, our Western colleagues, they confess between themselves that they don't care about UNESCO mandate. What they do care and what they use UNESCO platform for is to condemn, to punish, to harm Russia. And even after this decision to adjourn the discussion on the Russian Language Day, many delegations, they try to argue that they have nothing against Russian language, but it's not time for them to agree on Russian initiative. So basically, they replicated arguments of our dear neighbor Ukraine that Moscow uses the language as an instrument of so-called aggression. But in our view, these statements were very self-revealing, as they demonstrated once more the weakness and fragility of their position, because they want to shut down all the ways for dialogue and mutual understanding when the dialogue is most needed. As Ambassador of Kyrgyzstan put it very eloquently in his speech, they didn't manage, we say it in Russian, to separate flies from cutlets, but in English would be something like to separate husk from grain. So actually, I think that by declining this decision, they missed a very good opportunity to pay a modest contribution into a fight against Russophobia that is more and more alive. And vice versa, this move of our Western colleagues, de facto, they enrolled themselves into Ukrainian nationalist forces that persecute Russian language and Russian-speaking population.
If, Tatiana, if what it's coming to is the cancellation of all things Russian, then surely this is about ethnic discrimination, which is, of course, against international law. So how can all this possibly be justified?
It is a discrimination, and we clearly qualify that as racism. To vote against the language only because it's a Russian, it's clearly discrimination, nothing more, nothing else. And this runs contrary, as you truly say, against international law, against all the founding principles of United Nations and UNESCO itself. Because, you know, Constitution of UNESCO, which is written by high intellectuals, is a very good text, and it says actually that the World War II was made possible by the denial of the democratic principles of dignity, equality, mutual respect of men, and by the propagation in their place intolerance and prejudice, by the doctrine of inequality of men and races. So that's what we witness today, and that is very, very alarming, because last time we witnessed that, that ended up very, very badly for the world.
Tatiana Dovgalenko, Russia's Deputy Permanent Representative to UNESCO, many thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.